I'm now joined on the line by Tomás Mulcahy to reflect on Glen Rovers' Munster Hurling semi-club final win over Partickswell, and they're appearing in their first Munster final in 40 years, where they play Clare's own Ballyea. Tomás being a Glen Rovers man, and I'm residing from the parish of Ballyea, Ballyea myself. But first of all, Tomás, congratulations, a fantastic victory for your home parish.
Yeah, no doubt about that, yeah. I mean, I suppose it's been a very good kind of season for the club so far, and on the basis of kind of repeating the county final victory from last year as well, right, you know, to do two in a row. It hasn't been done in Cork for a while, so that was very, very beneficial. And I suppose this time round, I think maybe they did take the Munster club a bit more serious than they did maybe last year, and that's not taken away from Ballygunner. Ballygunner are a very, very good team, but I think they'd only a 2-week break last year going into the match. This time round, there was a bit more time for a bit of celebrations that go with a county final win, and a bit of time then to get back down to basics and get a bit of training done and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, look, it's a huge bonus for us. We're in bonus territory going into a Munster club final as well. I mean, nobody in our club 3 years ago, when we were beaten heavily in the county final, would have said that this is going to happen. But great credit to the management and to the players. They've stuck at it, and you know, they're the guys that put in the time and the effort. They're the guys that train over the winter months and train even at the moment when it's difficult enough, like you are really kind of talking about winter hurling at this stage, and all the credit must go to them.
Yeah, and Tomás, I watched, I didn't get to see the match myself. I was at the Ballyea game, but I saw the highlights there Monday night in GABO of the Partickswell game. One thing struck me there was your goalkeeper was in absolutely terrific form there in the final, Mulcahy. He made some super outstanding saves at crucial periods at the time, and maybe I'm just looking from our perspective here in Clare. We know we did the name Stephen McDonnell and Partick Horgan ring a bell there, as I say, below in your place there in Glen Rovers, the likes of Tony Kelly and Gary Brennan and Paul Flanagan probably ring a bell for you. But what are the other, I suppose?
But that is the beauty about club hurling, though. You know, that is the key thing, right? It doesn't have to be about your county stars. Yeah, I mean, Patrick and Stephen, have acquitted themselves very, very well with Cork and with Glen Rovers as well, and the same with Tony Kelly, with Clare or with Ballyea as well, and with Clare. You know, Tony Kelly is the best hurler in the country. You know, without a doubt on his day, he's just a superb player. But it's what the other guys bring to the table and where they're at, you know. And like, you know, you mentioned Gaelic. Yeah, he had a fantastic game. He was my man of the match the last day. He made 2 crucial saves at crucial periods in the game. That if maybe one of them had got in, maybe Partickswell would have pushed on, you know. And when you get saves like that, you get a bit of inspiration. And then the 6 defenders in front of him were very, very good, you know. And there's a couple of guys there that have been around for a long time, you know. Gavin Mine, the cornerback, you know. One guy there, he's captain of the team. He was on a Cork panel there for a long time, really, without ever making the grade. Is our captain, Graham Conlan, and like he got man of the match last year in the county final, and he's had a brilliant season for us this year as well. And you look at him and you'd be saying to yourself, you know, I mean, they're probably coming, 2 or 3 of them coming to the end of their career as regards hurling-wise and stuff like that, even from a club perspective, you know. But, I mean, and I'm saying they're gone this year, or maybe in the next year or two, they can't keep going forever, you know. So it's great credit to them, you know, that they're holding things together from a club perspective. Another guy there, he's wing forward, is Davy Cunningham, Paddy Cunningham, as they know him, right? I mean, what that guy has gone through, I think he's gone through 3 cruciate ligament operations over the years, you know. Fantastic footballer as well. And a lot of those guys are dual players. They play football with the club as well, and gone through 3 crucial ligaments. A lot of guys would have thrown in the towel. No success with Glen Rovers over a period of time, and he's playing for maybe 10 years at this stage, or 12 years. No real success, or maybe no sign of it, and to be still there and still digging it out week after week and hoping someday that you will get a county final success, and now you get an opportunity to go into Munster final, which is fantastic, and it's fantastic for Ballyea as well. I mean, I watched their game on Monday night there on TG Car, and it was a fantastic performance, you know. I mean, at some stages in the game they looked to be kind of out of it. They looked kind of 5 minutes from time that they were never going to get back to draw the match and stuff like that. But it shows with a team, that's the club spirit, and that's why the club championship is so good, that you get that resolve within the team, and you get that club spirit, and you get the winning mentality, and, you know, games keep coming fast, but they can't come fast enough for some club teams because they thrive in it, and Ballyea to near a team like that as well, you know. And you saw after the game the celebrations and what it actually meant to everybody, you know, the crowd and support there. And that's what club championship hurling is about, you know. And I'm sure Munster final day is going to be no different. Big crowd from Cork, from Glen Rovers, and I'm sure a big crowd from Clare as well.
And Tomas, one thing we noticed there about the you mentioned there an awful lot of dual players. It's the same in relation to Ballyea. They have they're a dual club as well. Clondigad would be the football clubs, and they'd have an awful lot of representatives in the Clare football panel. Is a thing with Glen Rovers as well? Are you a senior dual club in football below there as well? Would you have an awful lot of lads be there about on the contentions? Because it seemed to be me that both teams look very, very fit and finished the stronger. Ballyea finished
our sister club is St Nicholas Football Club, and they would be a good 7 or 8 of the guys probably there that would play senior football. Now they've had it tough over the last 2 or 3 years of fighting relegation battles here in Cork and stuff like that as well. But like, these guys have never been from wanted when they were asked to play the football. They wouldn't let the side down. They always turned out, and Paddy Cunningham and Graham Conlan and Gavin Moylan and these guys, are fantastic footballers. And but I suppose, hurling now is the one that's there at the moment, and that's the one they have to concentrate on.
Yeah, it was just a sort of trend that I noticed. Definitely Ballyea, certainly from 10 minutes to the end of the game against Thurles, they finished like a steam train, and all through extra time the fitness really came through, being in relation to being on football county panels, some of those lads, and being dual players playing senior clubs. And what struck me about Glen Rovers as well was they finished very, very strong there as well in the last 10 minutes. And it seems to be a novel sort of final pairing, because at the start maybe in the Munster Club Championship both clubs were probably as usual thrilled to win their county championships, but Ballyea went in underdogs against a much fancy Thurles side. And I suppose if you look at Partick's Wells with the players like Diarmaid Burns, Keane Lynch, Shawnee O'Brien, I know you might have felt your chances, but they were a strong team, Partick's Well.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, sure. Look, they were raging hot favourites in the bookies and stuff like that, right? Partick's Well, and did a great win in the county final themselves against Ballybrown. So and high scoring team they were as well. And we knew it was going to be difficult, no doubt about that. But there are 2 things that you find within a club team, and I think that's what Glen Rovers have. They have an unbelievable spirit as well, and the same as Ballyea, right? When things go against you, you never throw in the towel. You keep fighting, you keep going. And as I said, Ballyea the last day, kind of 7 points down, 6 points down, whatever it was, right? With 9 minutes to go or 8 minutes to go, they never gave up. They kept fighting. They kept chasing ball. They kept carrying. They kept hooking and stuff like that. And you get the breaks at the end, and you fellas say you create your own luck, but it's hard work, and it's very easy to say, we had our county final success and we're happy with that and stuff like that. Ballyea weren't that way. They were actually driving on because they wanted to win the game. And it was the same with the Glen against Partick's Well, that they knew they were 16 minutes away from getting into a Munster club final, that the club hadn't been in 40 years, and the club of our tradition and stuff like that. It's been a long time. We've had long, lean years, and they had an opportunity to make history themselves by even qualifying for the final. And we were listening to all this nonsense below in Cork about Cork teams not getting out of Munster, or getting out of not winning a Munster match and stuff like that. And the Glen Rovers had the opportunity to be the first team. It wasn't about Cork Hurling, it was about Glen Rovers themselves. It was about the players themselves. Because they wanted the victory, because they wanted to get through to the Munster club final. That's the players are the guys that did it, and with management, and we follow suit, and we follow. It's great to be driving out of Cork or driving to Limerick or driving to Thurles and stuff like that in November for competition like that, and it's great. It created a great atmosphere around the club, a great buzz around Blackpool and stuff like that, which is our main area, So hopefully on Sunday week we'll have a great performance, because it's anybody's game, And you said 2 outsiders maybe from the start. Nobody expected it. Thurles Stars raging hot favourites. And now you have 2 guys with an opportunity to get to an All-Ireland club semi-final and maybe look at St. Patrick's Day down the road, Who'd have thought that at the start of the year? Which is absolutely fantastic.
It is. It's a brilliant. We're delighted back in our own place as well. Tomas, one thing there that struck me there. Many people thought, the last day at Thurles Sarsfield, they decided that Padraig Marr was designated to pick up Gary Brennan, and Ronan Marr was designated to pick up Niall Deasy, and basically they sort of backed themselves against Tony, and Tony while Tony on midfield, and Tony really dominated in midfield. But in relation to Ballyea, they didn't really go and pair anyone up. And I noticed Glen Rovers as well, they just went out and played their own game. They didn't worry about the opposition as well. Do you think that'll be a trend for fine Glen Rovers to just go out and play their own game 15 on 15 and same with Ballyea and not worry?
I thought you were going to ask me there for a minute, like what are Glen Rovers going to do?
No.
I'm only messing you.
No.
I'm only messing you. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, management will decide whatever they want to do, or whoever they want to play and who, right? But like we play six backs, we play six forwards, we play two midfielders, right? So we don't vary from that, right? And that's the way.
I was just saying because it sort of unsettled Thurles from the start. The start of the game last day, they sort of moved their team around from the start, and it sort of unsettled them. They got an awful bad start, like inside the first seven.
But isn't that brilliant by Ballyea management to be able to do that, right? Isn't it brilliant that they could actually catch Thurles Stars off their guard and pull guys that Padraig Maher was probably supposed to be marking or somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly within 5 minutes or 6 minutes they have 2 goals scored.
Yeah.
Fair play to management. That's brilliant. I mean, that's your match planning, that's your game planning, and it obviously worked very, very well for them, right? I mean, the first ball in the top of the square and stuff like that, Jesus created havoc inside there, So I mean, you have to give all the credit to Ballyea on that and to their management, because I mean, they knew they were going to be up against a very, very good formidable side in Thurles Stars, right? And like Padraig Maher, Jesus, what a colossus he was again last Sunday. He had an absolute blinder of a game, stuff like that, And I mean, there were times you would say he was fighting Ballyea on his own. Being honest with you, he was that good, And then you see Tony Kelly. I mean, what he's able to do in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, turn the whole thing on its head for Ballyea, absolutely fantastic. Try to watch.
Yeah, and most people are saying now there, given how deadly Patrick Horgan is from frees, and we saw there Ballyea, Tony Kelly is very deadly over a dead ball as well. How important for both backs there the next day? I know it's going to be edgy, first Munster final, to try and keep your discipline at all from anywhere inside the 65, because with Patrick Horgan on one side, if you give him 3 shots in goal, and if you give Tony Kelly 3 shots in goal, it could turn out to be a shootout between the two of them.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's why they're free takers, because they're deadly accurate and they score. But I mean, conditions. I mean, you'd be expecting the pitch in Thurles to be very, very good. I mean, conditions dictate an awful lot this time of the year, and like your ground is going to be soft, right? The ball is not going to travel as fast as it would during the summer and stuff like that. So it's a different type of hurling, and it probably could lend itself to a lot more frees than you would normally see than in a hot summer's day and stuff like that, when the ball is moved much faster and stuff like that as well, right? So, but look, let's not start talking about free taking and stuff like that, right? Yeah. There's enough talent in both teams to go out and express themselves and have a very good open game of hurling, and obviously may the best team win at the end. I'm hoping for Glen Rovers to get our own bit of history. I'm sure you're looking for Ballyea as being a parish man from there, and there's enough talent there, and kind of pinpointing Patrick and Tony Kelly would be wrong, and the other 14 guys there, because there's a lot of serious talent within both clubs, being honest with you, and a lot of guys that have worked their socks off over the years. This is their All-Ireland final. Yeah. They'll never get to see the county jersey. They'll never get to see the opportunity to have a Munster final in Thurles with the county or anything like that. But this is the next best thing, So I mean, these guys are thriving in that, and it's great that they're getting that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's all about momentum, Tomas, into this time of the year. If you go getting the winning habit, getting that sort of run and momentum, and both teams are coming in with serious momentum in here, and it's all about whoever gets that start. But both teams have also showed that they can come behind from a lead.
But winning becomes a habit, right? And you become a hard team to beat, because you when you start winning, and it's like when you go out and play the first round of the championship. If you lose, there's a bit of deflation, because you've trained for 6 months hard before that. You go into a first round of the championship and you lose, and you think the whole world is against you, right? And but when you win the first round of your championship match at the height of May or June or whatever it is on, right, it gives you fierce momentum, right? And if you can keep that momentum going through, and of all the training sessions that you can do, there's nothing better than matches. And you can see the progress that Ballyea have made and how better they've got in every game, because they've had to draw with Conlan and stuff like that, right? And you can see you're playing at a different time of the year, so you have to adapt to conditions, and you have to, you can go training and you can have the cones and stuff like that, but you can't beat a match with the physicality of the game, the match sharpness of a game, the actual intensity of a hurling match, to actually improve and to adapt to conditions that are required for this time of the year. And the more games you get, the better it, you're coming back in the dark there on a Sunday evening, travelling back by bus and the team, and they stop, wherever they stop, or they're rubbing a couple of pints or something like that. It brings huge unity into a squad and into a parish and stuff like that as well, So that is what the club thing is about, right? That's why the club spirit is alive and well, thankfully, all over the country.
Yeah, and finally there, before I leave you, Tomas, just noticed there about Glen Rovers, you were behind 5 or 6 pints there during the game against Partick.
Yeah, we never worry about that. We never worry about that.
You were never seen phased, and it was the same against Ballyea, against Turles Sarsfields, against Conlan. So there's no real issue for concern the next day if a team builds up a lead. They know that they haven't the job done if they go 5 or 6 pints up, that the opposition can come back at them.
Yeah, but you see, that has come over years, right? That didn't happen last Sunday, didn't happen in a county final. Or, this team had been through a lot of heartache, right? I mean, 2 years ago they were hammered by Stars in the county final. We hadn't had success for 26 years. We've a lot of heartache. We've had this year is their third county final in a row, winning 2, losing 1. But it's 4 and 6 years. It's semi-finals and all that kind of stuff. So the bulk of this team are very, very hardened campaigners, right? They're very experienced, and what I liked about them last Sunday was there was no panic there. There was no panic on the line. They just kept plugging away. They kept working hard. And hurling is a game of attitude, bit of discipline, and working hard, working your socks off.
Yeah.
And if you have that, you go a long way in any match, Their skill levels will come forward, no problem after that. But it's about your attitude and about being right and about the head being right and wanting to actually play and wanting to win.
Yeah.
And luckily Glen Rovers had that last Sunday.
Tomas, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward, hopefully I'll bump into you down there wherever it is in Turles or if it's in Limerick.
Do say hello to me when you're down there. Yeah, no problem at all.
Cheers. Bye, Tomas. Cheers. Take care. Cheers.